Here I will show you how to use our smoke dispersion brushes. We're going to start with this dancer. I've already got her cut out, as you can see up here in the layer palette, just to save a little bit of time. So what we want to do is we want to remove her from the background because we want to have some nice contrast for our smoke brushes, and we basically want to use the smoke to have it be like an extension of her. Which means we need to get rid of parts of her in the background. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control, hold down my Control button while I click on my cutout subject. That's going to create the selection here. The next thing I'm going to do is come up to Select, Modify, Expand. I want to expand that selection. I think 6 will work. I'm going to go ahead and choose OK. We want to expand that selection so that we make sure that we do include all of her and we don't get any white fringing on here. So let's go ahead and shut off that cutout subject layer. Let's click on our background layer since this is the layer that we want to remove her from. And let's come up to Edit Fill. And we are going to choose from your content drop-down box, Content Aware. So go ahead and click OK. Now, Content Aware will actually choose information from your image, and it's going to fill in your selected area, in this case our ballerina, with contents from there. And I'm going to deselect this, Control D on the keyboard, and you can see it did a very nice job of removing her. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, the background, we just want to remove the subject from the background. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's turn our subject back on. So now you can see we've got 2 separate layers here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate my subject. We are going to turn off the top one. And let's come down to the first one here. I'm going to rename this to Liquify. Now, what do I mean by liquify? We want to basically use this to create colors for our smoke brush. In order to do that, we're going to come up to our Liquify filter. It's under Filter, Liquify. And now we'll actually use this smudge brush to sort of smudge out the layers that you want to see in your smoke. Colors, rather. I think I just said layers there. So we want to have all these, various tones. In this particular image, we want to have the nice various tones here of her peach dress. And I'm going to make my brush just a little bit bigger to make this process a little quicker. But you want to fill up the entire area here because your smoke brush will pull from here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click OK. Looks like a nice satin there. And we're going to let the liquify results come back. And you'll see that we have a nice nice peach area here, which is the color of her dress, nice various shades of that, that we'll be able to pull from. So we want to hide that right now. So in order to do that, let's hold down our Alt key while we click on our layer mask. And it's basically going to just fill the layer mask with black, which hides everything. We will paint in that with white to sort of bring out the nice smoke details. So let's go back and let's turn on our subject layer. And now you can see we have 3 layers here. So let's go, now that we're in the liquify layer, let's click on that. We're painting in the mask, and you can tell because it's sort of highlighted here. Let's go grab our brush, and our ash smoke brushes are right up here at the top. So you can see there's 5 brushes in the set. I'm going to start with this dense brush first. Okay. I want to make sure that we're painting with white, which we are, because you can see that's our foreground color. And let's sort of I'm going to click on, just do 1 click at a time to sort of see what this brings to us. Okay, that last one is just a little too much for me, so I'm going to hit Control Z. Love Control Z. And, that might actually be enough right there. So the next thing we're going to do is come up and let's try our light smoke brush here. I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger, and just maybe fill in an area over here. Yeah, just a little bit. I don't want to go too wild with this. I think that looks pretty nice there. And then back to our brushes again, and let's try this Wispy Brush. I really like this one. And again, just touch down on it once or twice until you sort of, get the look you're going for. Let's see, a little bit more. Okay, just a little bit there. Now the last part of this will be to use our mixer brush, and that is right here, the last brush here. Now with your mixer brush, we're not going to be painting in the mask anymore. We're going to actually click on the liquefied layer, and we're going to hold down the brush, and we're going to sort of blend it. What this will do is it'll just create some nice blending results for you. And you can see that sort of removed all of the streaky satin areas. Now the next thing we want to do is come up to our cutout subject layer. Let's also put a layer mask on her. Now we want to paint out portions of her leg right here, because we want this to look like it's like the smoke is an extension of her body. So I'm going to go back up to my brushes. Let's try the dense brush again. We'll see how this works out. We're in our white layer mask. Now we want to paint with black because we want to remove parts of her body here. So I'm going to toggle my foreground and background here. You can do that by clicking there or hitting X on your keyboard. And again, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and just sort of touch down on it until you like how much has been painted out. Now that painted out a little bit too much of her leg. Now I'm going to hit Control Z on my keyboard just to bring that back. Let me make that maybe a little bit smaller. No, I think that was too much, so Control Z again. And it might just be that this brush is a little bit too dense. So let's go back and maybe try one of our, how about our airy brush? And just to maybe paint out some of these areas in here. And if it paints out too much, like it sort of is here, let's change our foreground color to white. So we toggle that to white, and we can just paint it back in. We can just click on it here, and then it'll paint parts of it back in. But so you can sort of play around with this until you get the effect that you like. But I think that actually looks pretty cool. It's sort of an extension of her body, and you have this sort of nice dispersion effect with smoke.